Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member for St. John's, or for St. Philip's South rather, indicated that 6 miles of roads were constructed. I personally have driven the area, Madam Speaker, and I can guarantee the nation that no more than 6 miles of roads were constructed. But assuming, Madam Speaker, that 7 miles of roads were constructed, I'm answering your question. Assuming 7 miles of roads were constructed, Madam Speaker, and $74 million was spent, it gives you in excess of $10 million per mile. Seems as though you have a mathematical problem. Seems as though you math proof. You have a counting problem. Madam Speaker, the reality is we are using their figures. We did not make up these figures. These are information that we have gotten right here in this Parliament, and I would not imagine that there's any member over there misleading this Parliament or the nation. These are not Labour Party figures, these are your figures. So the point is, Madam Speaker, we are saying here that there's no way under the sun that these substandard roads at the stadium could cost the people of this country $10 million per mile. It is an impossibility. And let us examine why that may have happened. There are several reasons why it could have happened, Madam Speaker. It could have been as a result of collusion, as a result of corruption, in which members of the UPP government facilitated this rip-off. I said could have, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, no. We're not going there.
Madam Speaker,
I told you at the beginning.
It could have been as a result.
Honourable Member, you are imputing improper motives.
I did not. On whom?
Members of this House.
I do not accept that, Madam Speaker.
Whether you accept it or not. That's what you said. You are imputing improper motives, and we laid the groundwork for this discussion before you began.
Anyway, Madam Speaker, the reality is the people of this country did not get good value for money. And I want to say here that something went wrong. The people of this country have been called upon to pay $10 million for a mile of road that costs less than $2 million. What happened? The money gone to Gwasa? In fact, Madam Speaker, what should be happening is that the UPP government should be holding itself to a high level of accountability and transparency, and should have absolutely no problem agreeing to our request for an investigation into this issue. Because, Madam Speaker, if they have nothing to hide, if they are such a clean government, then they should not have to worry about anything. If there wasn't any bribery, if there wasn't any corruption, Madam Speaker, then facilitate the investigation so we can put this issue to rest. But, Madam Speaker, I want to assure you that there's more in the mortar than in the pestle, and we want to know what is in the mortar. Because at the end of the day, the figures do not add up. As the Calypsonians say, the money gone to Gwasa. But you know what? If it is that the members on the other side are seeking to wish this issue away, it will not happen. And I want the Honourable Member for Rural West and his government to understand that bribery and corruption is wrong under any government. Bribery and corruption cannot be wrong on the ALP and right on the UPP. And let me also say this to Madam Speaker, that they don't have any moral authority or divine authority to determine what is right or what is wrong in this country. Because that is how they behave, you know. Whatever is wrong on the Labour is now right on the UPP. Madam Speaker, I want to caution the members on the other side that the people of this country are not stupid. We're not foolish. There is prima facie evidence of wrongdoing here. There is prima facie evidence, Madam Speaker, that somebody, some entity, some group of individuals walked away with the public monies, Madam Speaker, and we, the people of this country, did not get good value for money. And I want to say that that is bad governance. That is why we are here today, tabling this resolution, which we had hoped would have been a bipartisan initiative.
This is a point of order, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it comes to the basic point again of the imputation of improper motives, and one must be very careful in doing so, in the sense that, here it is, the Honourable Member may have made a case of not good value for money. That's fair enough. He's entitled to do that. He can make a case that you didn't get good value for money. But not getting good value for money and then seeking to establish that as a platform for bribery and corruption, it is a quantum leap in logic, and it implies that there is improper behavior, as he said, on behalf of the UPP government. Madam Speaker, on this side sits the members of the UPP government. Now, he cannot jump from an allegation that we didn't get good value for money to then go on to say that there's prima facie evidence of bribery and corruption. It is improper, and Madam Speaker, I'm raising this as a point of order because he should not go down that road. If he wants to say that we didn't get good value for money, he's entitled to say that, because we will then have an opportunity to respond. But then he cannot make that jump without establishing the basis for showing that there's been any form of improper conduct.
I tend to agree with you, Honourable Member for St. John's City East.
Madam Speaker?
Yes, I'm wondering myself if you can make that statement.
I made a generic point.
It's not really a generic point.
And I want to make a point again.
I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you. You may not have directly accused anybody, but the logical conclusion is. So I would caution you to be very careful in those statements.
Madam Speaker,
I'm speaking to the Honourable Member for City West.
Thank you very much for your intervention, but I want to reiterate that my point was a generic point.
Honourable Members?
I want to repeat for the Honourable Member for City East that bribery and corruption is wrong in any government.
Yes, we agree.
I want to repeat for the member of City East that bribery and corruption in the ALP or the UPP or any other government is wrong. And if it is that I've touched his corn, then I make no apologies. Because, Madam Speaker, we have shown fundamentally where tens of millions of dollars have been wasted, Madam Speaker, assuming that it was wasted and did not end up in somebody's pocket. Assuming. But, Madam Speaker, the point is, it is well known that where you have this type of contracting in which the nation did not get good value for money, it is primarily one of two things. It is either due to incompetence, so that they presided over the rip-off, and Madam Speaker, the rip-off need not have been members of the government. It could be the contractor who took them for a ride because of their incompetence, so the people lose. Or, Madam Speaker, in generic terms, they could have aided and abetted it for private gains. That is a reality. It is a possibility. I am not accusing any member specifically. I am trying to say here, Madam Speaker, that it is well known throughout the world that government contracting, it is the primary area of corruption that you find in any country. And let me state here, since, Madam Speaker, I didn't wish to overstep here, but I have no doubt that there's corruption in the UPP. I'm not accusing any specific member. Which one of you can stand up over there and say there's no corruption in your government? So, Madam Speaker, all right. So, Madam Speaker, a light moment there. The reality is, Madam Speaker, is that we have to ensure that we strengthen the governance framework in this country to guard against the abuse of state resources. And, Madam Speaker, you know, the resolution spoke to some other ills within the government. It speaks to the issue of nepotism, Madam Speaker, in which members on the other side continue as a matter of priority to employ members of their family. The resolution also speaks to government contracting. And I want to state here, Madam Speaker, that the tenders process has been undermined severely by the UPP government. They have been utilizing selective tendering as a process to facilitate their bilateral negotiations with contractors. And as a matter of fact, I have here, for instance, Madam Speaker, a number of contracts, and we're talking about multi-million-dollar contracts